So here I am, a couple of days ago, sitting in my living room one morning, doing the average Joe stuff over breakfast and the news TV channel, when I come across an update, an exclusive update of a person that the Bronx has been trying to pursue for a rape/robbery in an elevator in the Pelham Parkway section of the Bronx. And when I see the individual first in the video, I had no idea who the person was when they showed them glasses, hoodie, in the elevator holding a knife with a person, which is the victim. Shout out to the victim. Was blurred out. You know, images of the victims are always blurred out. You know, it's meant to protect them. Nobody wants to put their stuff out there. People need to cope with things. And sometimes neighbors and friends and family can make things worse, more traumatizing for the experience. So the victim was in the elevator. This individual stepped in, held her up at knife point, sexually assaulted her, and made off with $112, they said it was. When I first saw it, I just think what everybody else thinks, like, wow, you know, this city has really went apeshit. And these things are more and more common. There are more and more creeps out there. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But I didn't really think anything. But when they caught the perp, which they said it was from the tips hotline, supposedly he gave himself up. He gave himself in. But when they caught him and I see the images, I go, holy crap, I know this guy. Even worse, I actually did time with this guy. So now I'm like, holy crap, what's going on here? A lot of things is going through my mind. I hit up my boy Warpath. He's up on it. He already know who we talking about. We talking about Cabeza. Holy crap, what's going on here? So, a lot of things going through my mind now. Now it's not just about him and the horrible crime that he did. But now I'm thinking, wait a minute. We are at the times now when everybody that you knew of in the 90s that was creating havoc and terror in these streets, they're now just coming out. This individual, Cabeza, he's been out since March and caught a rape charge in an elevator in May. He's been out 40-something days. He's on his 4th state bid. And to make things even worse, he just came home after doing like 15 years or so, or 16 years for doing the same thing. Robbing somebody at knife point and sexually assaulting them. Yes, he was a sexual registered offender. Or registered sex offender, rather. Now, I'm really confused because I've been upstate a couple of times and I know I've been with him here, there, and there, but I'm just trying to figure out if he was a rapo at the time when I knew him. Which it doesn't even matter. A piece of shit is a piece of shit, whether it's past, present, or future. But moving right along, now I'm start thinking about all the drama that's went on and the times when the streets was really, really bad and it was like the wild, wild west. And the only era that I can point to is the 90s and now. All right? Now with all these ghost guns and all this violence going on and these out in the open, daylight, broad shootings and a lot of bystanders getting shot in the middle of gang wars and turf wars. It was just like that in the 90s. And these people that has been held for murder and bodies and robberies that got 25, 35 years in, they're coming home now. And this dude Cabeza was one of them dudes. Very dangerous individuals. No, I'm not saying here that nobody can change and that you have to fear for your life. As you should always fear for your safety. But for the most part, people is coming out humbly. They're being in culture shock. They don't understand technology. They're trying to figure that out. A lot of people that's coming home after 25, 35 years, all their time is spent trying to figure it out, man. Trying to keep up. Everything has gone high. Everything has changed. Technology, rules, laws. After 25, 30 years, coming home to that, the last thing not on your mind should be another crime. But going back to this individual, I was watching On the Lockout. By the way, shout out to Warpath. Has one of the best content creators of prison war stories on YouTube. And I always tell him that his content creation production is unmatched. And I even compare him to being the Dr. Dre of YouTube content creation. So shout out to On the Lockout page. And among other pages also that I do watch also that I do give recognition to on prison war stories. But Warpath had mentioned something also that usually you shouldn't be too surprised when somebody comes out with something outrageous like this, especially creeps. Because as he stated, you can usually see these signs when you're in the inside. You've seen those people before. Over excessive with sexual activities, always going into the bathroom stalls 3, 4, 5 times a day. You know those people that pass around those butt man magazines, those short eyes. By the way, short eyes is what you call pornographic material. There's people that make rituals out of harboring pornographic material. Taking it to the stalls 3, 4 times a day with the whole kit. You know the kit, you got your own toilet paper, your own towel, your own lotion. You got a whole stack of magazines. Some people get so ritualistic with it. You ever sat down in the bathroom prison stall and you have somebody next to you that you know they're whacking off because they have all the periodicals, all the magazines, all laid out on the floor? Some even tape them to the walls inside the stalls, and they do like, it's really a ritual. So I'm taking it that this individual, Cabeza, did nothing but fantasize about the crime in which he was currently doing for, which was sticking somebody else up in an elevator and getting sexual favors from them and robbing them. This is 2 of those crimes as we know of. So what I'm saying is, and I've said this before, when you go into the joint and you're in solitary or whatever time you're doing, whatever you put into your head is what you're going to become. So by this guy doing this crime, I could almost guarantee that he fantasized every single night of that crime of passion that he had created in that elevator. And he could not wait to feel that same sensation again. In his mind, this was a fantasy. This is what he was becoming. He was becoming that elevator raper. He was becoming that dude that proud and became pride upon and became proud and got sexual experience and satisfaction of doing what he did. This is what he became long before the crime. This crime was already committed before he even came home. You have to watch what you put in your head. And it is true what Warpath said. You can usually spot these signs of these real sick individuals on the inside by their behaviors and how they are to getting money, and how it was mentioned how people do it to COs. You ever seen those creeps waiting for a CO to go make a round? They in the window of their cell looking, whacking off through the window. And not for nothing. Some of these COs is horrible as hell, but nevertheless, it's the mental aspect of it all. The sexual preference of being a creep. You have to watch what you put in your mind in them jails. Getting all those magazines, those periodicals, all those deep, hardcore, butt man, will have you looking at things really messed up, from a messed up point of view. It could damage your relationship with women. It could just damage your relationship with relationships, period. There's no doubt in my mind that this is what he wanted to do all along, and this was his sexual way of getting off. People have different fetishes in life. His just happens to be the sexual satisfaction of being inside a box, cooped up with a defenseless person at his mercy. But guess what? Now you're in the inside. Hopefully you can defend yourself and end up in that hole when you're double bunked, and see if you're going to do that to somebody in the cell with a knife or not. Guys like Cabeza should not be in the street, and there should be more programs that are geared at catching these warning signs. Just like you have these psychological evaluation tests, there should be one of those for the sexual predators. Even though he was already a sexual offender, there should be certain programs that are geared to get into the psyche and know if you're a risk or not. This guy was home 40-something days. He came out to commit the same crime. It kind of reminds me of the incident. I don't remember his name, but it was in the maximum correctional facility where this individual was already serving a life sentence for raping an individual female and killing her. But his sexual signature was that he bite his women and left teeth marks on them. So upon being in jail up north, he committed the same crime. This time he did it to a female correction officer. But he did the same thing. He left that signature bite mark, which led to his conviction. I don't know what it is in the mind that makes you create the same crime. That's what's called an MO, your modus operandi. That's what you're about. Supposedly, this guy Cabeza, once he seen that they was looking for him, the whole neighborhood, everybody got his picture, his mugshot. It's going around. Cops is knocking door to door. For some reason, he thinks that he can go inside a precinct and convince them that he's innocent. Why are they looking for him? Why are they showing his mugshot out in the neighborhood? He's like, wait, that is not me. Look, that guy has glasses. Look, he has a hoodie. My man, you was just on the inside for doing the same exact thing. Not only was it a rape charge, but you know what happens to rape offenders in there. You have to give up your DNA. They grab your DNA. When they're giving you tests, they're giving you blood work. Some of that blood work is submitted into a DNA data bank. You think that they had to come out in the news and be like, hey, we got his DNA? No. That's the part they hold from you. So that you can be stupid and come in, hey, I want to clear my name. Yeah, clear your DNA because it's what they took samples from the victim. He must have been in there so long that he forgot that anybody that goes in there for such a crime, violent crime against a helpless individual, whether it's rape, whether it's robbery, burglary, you have to submit your DNA. And submit is an understatement because they take their DNA sample. Yeah, don't think they got their blood work. They do your physical. They give you the flu shots. They have your sample, especially with a charge as rape. So yeah, the police department did right of withholding that information that they already knew who they was looking for, and it wasn't through a mugshot. It wasn't through a video camera. It was through DNA. But you want to go in and clear your name because you think, yeah, look, it's a light-skinned guy. You might have used makeup to make your skin a little lighter, or I don't know what you thought in that mind of yours, which wasn't much, because obviously you didn't put anything in your head the whole time you was in jail. We know what you put into your head. That crime of passion you was locked up for was in your head the whole time. Nothing else. So with that being said, Cabeza, you are a turd. A big one at that. You should have never been in the street. You guys already know. Thank you for watching my video. Peace.